didn't make time for everything. That's what I thought. Bye, honey.
Bye. Oh, nice. Okay, we're going to pop this out. Hey, Jay Santiago, how are you doing today? I'm coming to everyone. Hey, Juno. Juno. So Robert, I shouldn't send you a link because I am ready to hit it. Hey, Minnie Cooper, Miss Ride or Die. How many times I just adore you? No. Macy says that. Okay. So I'm going to, give me just a second, guys. I don't know why that happened. Let me close. Let me send some links real quick. As you can tell, I am also working. So I let them know I would come and be with our Mary, but I'd have to work at the same time. So I'm hoping someone will be able to come and cover this if I have to excuse myself for a few minutes. I think Roger said, I had someone else in mind, but Roger said he'd do it for me because we've had a little bit of a change today. Okay, there we go. And then, of course, we have my good friend. Yeah. And then I have, I'm sorry, I just have to get everybody. Oh, my God. And then we have, I would have done this earlier, but I had to go rent a car for my work tomorrow. And so I went ahead and did that. I can't hear anyone but myself, and that makes it really odd. Okay, why is this not working? Come on. Oh, shoot. There we go. Okay. There we are. Ooh, Glenesis. Oh, hey, how you doing, Glenesis? Oh, I'm missing everybody. Sorry, I was trying that. Oklahoma Trucking. How are you doing? I can't make this thing work the way I want it to work because it's being a pain. Let's see. No, it still didn't work. I have to put it in. Mini Cooper Man. I don't want to hear about it. Oh my God. Let's do live chat. Let me back. Hey, Glennis says good evening to you. Let's see. Yeah, I'm so happy to see y'all. My friend was in a bit of spot, and so she asked if I wouldn't mind coming and watching Mary. And for some reason, I thought that it wasn't going to be much. But then it didn't have time to eat today and that kind of thing. Oh my God. I got your link. I am editing a monster project. You okay with me trying to multitask? As long as I'm first in that. Yeah, no, I don't mind. Come on in, darling. I do not mind. Oh my God. Paul is still on those guys, is he? Well, I have Centroid. If something goes wrong, he can take over. If Mary gets up, I think she'll get up because she wanted a little snack.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well, and yourself?
I am doing fine.
And I promised my wife I would behave.
Good, because I was going to say, because I'm going to tell on you now that I know I can. I know. I'm sorry, guys. I was really late getting here, and then there was all kinds of stuff that wasn't done I had to do.
How is everybody tonight? Oh, I'm on top chat again. I hate this
Get
thing.
off of top chat. I hate
I
top.
know. I know.
Oh, look at all that.
Good. That was a good program that Novice Quad had on there. Very
You know
interesting.
what? He just has really good shows. He
Yes,
really
it does. Yes.
I am I have to get ready for Rogers.
When do you leave? I know you know when you're coming to me, but when are you leaving shortly for your big grand trip, and then you end up coming to us? Is that how it is? You're going to other places?
Yeah. I'm gonna go see my dad in Virginia.
Nice.
Then I'm gonna see my sister, and we're going to the beach for 5 6 days. And then my son is here now. Okay, tell Mario I said hi. Hey Russ. And then I'm going to then I'm flying into Syracuse.
Okay, cool.
Hey
Cool.
Curtis,
Yo.
what you up to?
Hello, Curtis. How are you?
I'm doing good. Back from vacation.
Oh, nice.
Here I can show you what I'm working on right now. Right there.
I just sent Russell a link because I haven't seen Russell. Oh, nice.
Yeah, apparently this is a bird sanctuary. You can't fly drones out there. I think I spent probably 2 hours trying to film some birds. Couldn't find any. I found one seagull.
Oh,
There were more cars out there, and there was a huge sign that said no fireworks, and there were fireworks all night. And it was like, what the heck? And then it says no camping. There were people camping. It's like, why didn't I just bring my drone? That's because
Russ, I did send you a link. Or Ashley.
Do we
I
get
think-
to choose? Do we get to choose between Russ or Ashley?
Ashley. What?
Who's Ashley?
Russ's wife.
Ah,
Oh, thank you, Navis. I think I tried to squeeze too much in today.
Novice is eating dinner right now. He couldn't come over.
Colin. I know
Watch
about Colin.
So this Mini Cooper, is this the new Mini Cooper that's out? The one that's a little bit larger?
It's still a two-door. I would say Phantom was correct. It's not like the original Mini Cooper, but it's not the one the what they call the Countryman, where it's got bigger back seats and stuff.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking. It was
Yeah, no, it's a typical small Mini Cooper. It's the newer model compared to the older one, but it's like I said, it's not realistic that you can fit two people in the back. We have my daughter and her friend when they were 14, and they barely could fit. You could feel their knees in your back.
Oh, okay.
But surprisingly, though, it is very spacious for the two people in the front.
I told my wife that too, because I was looking at Mini Coopers about 3-4 years ago, and I was thinking about buying one, and they were telling me about the Country Gentleman or the Countryman or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And that and they just didn't have any in stock when I was looking at it, and I was going, it's a little. I go, there's plenty of room in the front, but there's not enough room in the back.
Right. Yeah, there's no space, and it's not really good for traveling. So that's why I told Val she's got to pack light. So if we're gonna fit her in the back, Herman in the front with me, she's gonna have to have maybe her purse, and that's it. And so she's gonna have to pack real light. Well, wait a minute. I don't even know now. How am I gonna fit my 5 drones in there? Well, Val, you're gonna have to ride on top.
It does have a rugged
I'm
ride.
all in. I'm all in for the
If you lay it flat, it can be aerodynamic.
Yeah.
It can be a stabilizing effect. Oh man, I was so when we were at the hotel this week. Speaking of seeing weird things just out of the blue, this has nothing to do with anything. But there was a BMW sitting there, and I was going, "It's electric. They have an electric BMW now. What the heck?"
Right.
Yeah, they have a fully electric BMW now.
Oh, jeez.
It looks nice. It looks cool. I was, it attracted my eye. I thought it was pretty cool, but a performance car company, that's
Yeah. Well, they're trying to make good with the environmentalists, I guess.
Yeah. But
So what's tonight's subject? What are we talking about?
well, tonight, let me see. Oh, they have something Op 7 for the Osmo. I think what we're talking about is a couple things. Let's see. Yeah, I'm eating coleslaw. I didn't really have anything that I was thinking. Oh man, Curtis, look up the BMW 100 next.
All right, I'll go Google that real quick.
So I was going to talk to you guys about what you thought of Scott.
Oh, I love the guy. He's great.
Scott was the guest on Novice Quad's channel.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to see too much of it, but I think I caught the last half hour, 15, 20 minutes of his discussion. It seems really interesting.
Everything I've heard has been really positive.
I'm an evangelist for him, so I'm. I mean, I can give you my spiel, but it's going to be the same as I've said on all the other shows that I've been on with him. I mean, he is so focused. There's a takeaway that a lot of people can utilize. Okay, so for the folks that are in the chat that are unfamiliar with Scott Parazanski, he's created this product called the FT Aviator, and his company's called Fluidity Tech. And the FT Aviator is a disruptive product, meaning that it is breaking with what is traditionally used. And he's created this thing in the interest of, and because he is a drone pilot, he's created it in the interest of better control, no cross coupling, easy orbits, easy for getting into the app to do things. Everything should be in your hands as far as he's concerned.
Agreed.
He calls it a one-handed flight stick, and as far as flying, it's one-handed. Your non-dominant hand, and by the way, it's ambidextrous, so you can use right or left-handed, folks. It's not a problem. You can switch hands and use it with either one. Your non-dominant hand now becomes able to control all of the camera functions. So whether it be aperture or shutter speed or your gimbal rates or whatever else, your non-dominant hand controls that. So you are flying with one hand. The second hand is controlling the camera. You don't have to dive into the app. You don't have to go through all the different menus to get what you need. You literally can set it to rabbit mode, fly out to where you want to do something, flip it over to turtle mode, and suddenly you have this nice, smooth, buttery orbits and all this other stuff, and you're able to set your aperture, your shutter speed, and all that stuff very, very quickly. You don't have to people that have problems manually orbiting, you can be, if you're on a movie set and you're doing something and the director says, hey, that would be really cool if you could orbit. Well, a lot of people have a hard time orbiting because you're doing opposing thumbs. You're literally doing this to get your orbits or this, one of the two. Mm-hmm. It's something you develop over years. Well, with this, it's literally a little forward and a twist. And suddenly you're doing a perfect circle. I mean, you can't get any better than that. So
no, that is cool.
Somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I want you to do this. Now, the reason I point this out, the takeaway from this from everybody, and one of the reasons why I love Scott, you start talking about his credentials, 6 space flights. He is a certified surgeon, doctor. He's been up Mount Everest twice. He's an Eagle Scout. I mean, the list of things, two best-selling books on whatever that best-selling thing is, they list all the time. Yeah, the New York Times best-selling list. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And I asked him, I said, how do you do that? How do you sit down and go, I want to be an astronaut? Because all kids say, I want to be an astronaut. He goes, well, I looked at it and I said, I can't reach it. It's too much. But there is this, which is a path to get there. I can do that. So he sets these small goals for himself, knowing that in the long run he wants to do this, thinking I'm never going to get there, but I'm just going to set this goal. So he goes for that goal, he gets that goal, then he goes for the next goal, he gets that goal. And then the words he used was, I was on the pad strapped in going, I'm actually going into space. What the heck? And so if you take that into as a life lesson, taking small steps, you can achieve anything. And he's done that with everything that, going up. And I also asked him, I said, so what was more difficult, going into space or going up Mount Everest? He said Mount Everest, surprisingly. He said that when I was in space, he goes, I never really felt like, even when I did what is classified as the most dangerous spacewalk that has ever been undertaken in NASA. He said, even then, I really wasn't worried. He goes, I've done this stuff. I've tested the equipment. He goes, when I was climbing that mountain, every minute that I was up there, I could have died. And it was very evident in my mind that one slip, step on a rock, something roll out of the way, at any moment he could have died when he was up there. He said he didn't feel that when he was going up into space.
Well, you just look at the number. I mean, you look at the statistics. They're having problems with Mount Everest right now. They have lines of people wanting to go up there, and people are dying regularly now
As they're waiting.
Oh.
I will say that I thought he was terribly interesting. I remember
Terribly or greatly?
Yeah, right.
but I found I remember when the teacher went up in the Challenger and it exploded.
Krista McCullough.
I was living in San Diego at the time. And years later, I asked my son what he'd like to be when he grew up. And someone said, an astronaut. And without skipping a beat, he said, no, they die, and they die when they're teachers, and I'm not going. That was it. And he hadn't even been alive. That's how much that whole episode.
If you ever get a chance to talk to Scott about that, those were his very personal friends, not just he knew them. Those were very personal friends to him. That's very emotional for him to discuss that.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, my son, it impacted him so much because they must have shown it at school. I don't know how it came about in school, but yeah, and it was years and years later because my son now is only about 26, I think.
Much like the towers, when they got hit, it brought the United States, the world actually, it brought it to a standstill.
No doubt.
Everybody became united at that particular point. It was I'm losing my voice because I've been I've been busy for the last couple of days. Yes. Everybody became united at that particular point, and right. it was like, wow, space was not. Yeah, the United States and Russia had their competition going on, but everybody was interested in what was going on. Everybody wanted it to succeed. Everybody wants to be a part of it. I'm just kind of surprised now. And Scott also said this in a interview with, I believe it was Bill the Drone Reviewer, when he said that he's surprised that space is kind of taking a back seat, and he wants it. He thinks that most of our advancements in humanity and solving problems have taken place from NASA research. Not necessarily going into space, but NASA wanted to figure something out that was going to happen in space, and maybe it wasn't going to happen, but a solution was found to something else because of that.
Right.
So
right.
I don't think a lot of people realize that when you put that many smart people together, you come up with a lot of things that you don't necessarily think about. You're going in this direction. You go, oh yeah, by the way, this will also work for this, and that happens a lot. The fluidity was one of those things. It was. Right. Always interested in drones, and he revealed something else on tonight on Novice Quads on the show over there. He said when he started talking about, he didn't buy the original Phantom, he started with the Phantom 2, which kind of surprised me, but he's been flying drones for quite a while, and he's always been frustrated about this. And it wasn't until he got into robotics, operational robotics, that he started going, wait a minute, this makes a lot more sense, because we need to create a way to move in XYZ space for robotics to do robotic surgery. But we also need to do that for drones, because there's this thing called cross-coupling. Cross-coupling is a situation to where you literally come up with, some people will say carpal tunnel. Some people say it's muscle fatigue, but there's a natural tendency for when your thumbs are pushing forward to just kind of drift. And it's cross-coupling when you're doing this. So when you, and of course there's, people with handicaps and et cetera, and those are also issues, but just the average healthy 21-year-old person who's had no major accidents or anything, still the thumb forward, your thumb gets tired and it starts drifting. You can't fly straight. It's very, very, very hard to do.
Okay.
So when he created this and he created the ability to have a tactile feedback that you're actually going straight, that's pretty darn cool. It's precision is what it is. It's a precision way to fly.
Very nice. I love the possibility of exactness, because I'm all over the place when I fly. I am. I'm just going to admit it.
And you talk about a guy that that's what he does. Is everything he does is all about precision. Everything that's led him up to this particular point, whether it be going into space, climbing Mount Everest, writing a book, whatever, it's always been about precision. So this is no different than anything else he's done before now. He approaches it from the same. It has to be perfect. It has to move forward. It has to do what it says it's going to do, and it has to be precise. So when you take somebody like him who is interested in drones to begin with and wants a better way to fly and has created a product that's going to do that, that's exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really, really exciting.
And I mean, I know it puts a lot of pressure on him, but if with his possible influence, if he could be sort of a spokesperson for the hobbyists, that would be wonderful. That would be asking maybe too much, but having somebody of that stature representing people who are responsible with the activity would be really, really nice.
That was part of the questions that were brought up. There's some things I can't, so I am under a certain amount of NDA, not 100% of one, but the one thing that a lot of people are not kind of understanding is everybody wants everything now.
Mm-hmm.
And part of his precision in the way he does things is he does, as I said earlier, he does things in baby steps. And by making a product that works first and making sure that it works, I mean, he's literally hand testing each and every product as it's being sold. So him and a couple other guys that are doing this, couple of pilots, when you purchase this thing, you're getting something that's been through somebody's hands before you get it, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Once he gets that out and gets it working, from there, they're going to expand what they're doing to incorporate things like the crystal sky and all this other stuff.
So let me ask some questions. Not about that.
Well, as best I can.
Having something to do with that, because I know, Centroid, you've been FPVing lately, and you also fly camera drones.
Yes.
And I believe that's something that you are also doing. And the FPV may be a little more limited right now, Curtis, but you're doing that. Hey, Flying Trucker, we have seen these leaps and bounds of drones over the past couple of years where they kind of, you think you don't need what. What do you think is the next biggest thing that drones need to be able to do that needs to be invented?
Battery life.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
Is it?
Battery life and battery safety are the two paramount things that are stopping our industry at this particular point. They're putting a gate on everything that we do, and I say I mean the particular process of a LiPo battery is what's stopping us from being able to do something better. In addition to that, I mean, LiPo batteries are used throughout aviation. They're used in commercial airliners and stuff, and they create problems. Just like us, those things can randomly catch on fire. It's a chemical process of storage of electricity, and if you bridge the cells, the old put a nail through them, if you bridge those cells, you're going to create a fire, and if you drop them, you possibly bridge those cells.
Now, having experience with both the photo drones and now with the FPV, I mean, the batteries are not cheap for the photo drones. Like my Typhoon H, if I want a new battery, they're starting to get puffy, and they shouldn't. I'm a little disappointed with them. But it's going to cost me about $150 just to replace one battery. So I trust them a lot more than the LiPos that I use for my FPV drones. They're plastic wrapped, and they're getting abused, charged over and over, crashes, you name it. And I'm not gonna lie, it makes me nervous. And anything from making them more safe and going away from LiPo, I don't know what the technology is out there now, but it would be nice if there was a more durable, longer lasting, and more importantly, safer version of these types of batteries that could be used.
So there's Retro. So there's a consensus that it's got to be now. They need to start working on these batteries.
And they got to be they're not so sensitive to temperature as well. I
We're
mean,
talking about
I mean,
batteries.
we're looking at the holy grail of battery sources for these things. You know, I mean, I get it. It's probably way out there, or maybe they have the technology and nobody's going to put it out there because they're making money on all these lipo repurchases. Don't know.
Right. Because that's what I would wonder about. You know, I think the batteries need to be safer because now we have kids getting them and they're everywhere. And so I think it needs to be safe. And I think we need to increase that flight time.
I want to address back from the sky up here. He said it's kind of strange that we're supposed to be at odds with Russia, but yet we go to space with them. Go figure. It's not, at the risk of sounding political, and I don't want to go there. It is political. It's not about the smart guys that are putting their brains together. Those guys are not Russian and they're US or Australian or whatever. The smart guys are just working together because one guy realizes, hey, this guy almost has an answer. Let me work with him. And they're coming up with solutions. The issue is governments. I just want to clarify that. The smart guys are doing what they need to be doing.
You get smart guys together, and what you got is a room full of smart guys.
Right.
Working on problems. And that's exactly what I think it should be. And I got to say, guys, I'm just going to put this out here and just let it sit on the table for a little bit. We're not going to be doing any political commentation, commentary here. None. You know, someone said something and it hurt a really good friend of mine, and he and I are probably on opposite ends of the poles when it comes to some of our ideology. And I just got to say, I wouldn't do that for anything in the world. And we've always had that rule, no top politics. So lately we've been getting a little bit looser about it. And so I think I'm going to rein that on back, guys. And just say,
I've been reined.
Yeah, it's not just, believe me, Curtis, you're fine. But I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear, slights against our government, slights about, and I'm sorry. I'm just going to put that rule in there because we have so much more to talk about.
Hey, Val, it's your channel. You get to run it the way you want to.
Okay.
That's right.
And of course, there's no one in here that I'm not really, really fond of. And sometimes we want to have those debates, but I promise you that our opinions, we like hearing them said, we like hearing them, but most people don't like hearing our opinions.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. We like talking about them, but nobody.
You can rein me in. Don't worry about it. I won't have my feelings hurt.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably not more. Can't say it's an opinion. It's more of a fear. I'm just going to say it. I'm scared of this trip to Montreal.
Because I will be talking politics on that trip, my friends.
Oh, wait, it's my car, my Mini Cooper. It's a British car.
Have you been monitoring everything Val has said on the other channels?
I'm trying not to listen to anything anymore.
Okay, I'm just saying there are plans apparently that you may not be aware of.
You know what? I don't want to know. I think it's probably best.
Furball keeps talking about escaping, but we'll see how that works out for him. Right?
Is Furball in the house?
Say that, and I appreciate you guys letting me have this little discussion with you, and we can just let it marinate for a little bit. So, oh my God! So I have another thing. So we're talking about drones, and we're saying that we think the next big I don't like people being targeted for their opinions. Me either. I think if we could do it without doing that, that'd be one thing, but it's kind of hard because it's so divisive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about YouTube. I'm always thinking about YouTube, what we can do. And YouTube has turned pretty politically savvy lately. But they started to put new rules down. And some of you may not know that June 2019, they changed or clarified, they're calling it clarified, their community rules around things that are unacceptable on YouTube. And I didn't know if any of you have read any of that, or you've read the, can you define politically savvy? You're politically savvy back from this guy. That's my definition. Yes, you are. I love him. He has a nice mama. We met her today. He does. I know that's not part of this, but they put out some new rules about what you can and cannot do. And I thought maybe, has anybody read any of this?
Read them to us.
Well, I don't know if I want to bore you all that much, but hold on.
Well, I mean, is there a particular section that you're concerned about? I mean,
Well, there are some sections. So let me tell you, let me kind of gloss over a couple things. So they are now saying, right, that really pretty much any show of guns, you're not going to be monetized. They're just going to take that away. So evidently when we were going, this mine, yeah, that became a little bit, showing the guns, that became a problem for them. It's hard for some of us, like those of us who live in Idaho and other places where those things are not as big a thing, but it is very political. So they are not monetizing that. So they took that away because we were just a little bit over the top that day. But also their sexual content, they're starting to sound like they're saying that even innuendo, depending on where it is.
Oh,
You-
Lord.
you-
So
even in the window?
It-
Well,
it-
you mean like when I film through the window?
when you film through the window, they're very upset. YouTube is not for the creator anymore. So they're saying that the innuendo is a bit of a problem, but it has to be kind of explicit. And I will say this, I will say now and again, we get a little crazy. So we're going to watch it a little bit. I'm going to put Curtis in charge of that. Oh, let me rethink that. No, I'm just saying. So I read all the rules because somebody is tagging every one of my videos, is flagging it to not be monetized, finding them unacceptable.
Well, that's just somebody that's jealous.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Petty.
Yeah, I think it's petty. I don't know that how jealous they would be of my life, but I think it's petty. So I wanted you guys to know that actually it doesn't matter what happens on my channel, it's still getting flagged every video. So jealous or angry at something. Oh, back from the sky, let me tell you how easy it is for me to make people angry.
It doesn't take much.
I don't have to do much. Okay, I can do a little, but I don't have to do much. There are other channels with one ringleader doing that garbage, Val. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that going on. But I know like last night we had a child in, I'll say child, but he's a young man. And he got mad because he wanted to get something so he could fly at the airports, his drones. And people kind of jumped on him about that because we know what's going to happen to drone rules if people are doing crap like that, right? We know what's going to happen.
It's here in the United States that I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay.
And he got upset. And so, and he started kind of going after a couple of the people in the chat. Roger removed him, blocked him, and then we had Troll City in our chat. And Back from the Sky thought he's being so smart and almost got them faster than me, but I think I'm still the fastest gun in the West. I'm just saying, because I was whacking those trolls, but Back from the Sky was pretty up there with me. And so I think that just shows you don't know where these things are coming from. You can think they're coming from somewhere, but we don't always know.
It would be nice if YouTube would let us have access to who's doing what. You know, you don't know who likes and dislikes or even why. You know, it could be somebody's tired of hearing me talk about Scott Parazynski, so they dislike the video. But it's like, that's not really a reason to dislike the video. You know, it's
I know it sounds like it could be more complicated, but I mean, there are different versions of dislike. Like, for example, I've used this example before. I'm not particularly a big fan of country music. Doesn't mean I think it's bad. It's just not my taste. If I wanted, I'd like to be able to make a comment and say, you know what, you did a good job with this, but it's just not my cup of tea. You know, it's dislike, just people translate that as I hate you and you suck. You know, it's
right.
Like, and there's no in between for that. So
yeah,
Well,
that is a bad use of the dislike button. I mean, you should be able to say, hey, I think you should have used a different type of music, as opposed to, hey, I just dislike it. The other thing that I've noticed, not on my channel because I haven't actually launched my I mean, I've got stuff on my channel, yes, but I haven't launched my official show yet. But for the big show that we do, the Drone Owners Network Live, we start it, and usually it starts a minute before we actually come on, and we've got 2 to 3 dislikes before we even start.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, whatever. We laugh
and
about
I
it.
wonder about that because there are people I'm not fond of that are on YouTube. I know it's hard to believe, but there are. But
It's okay. It's okay, Val. You can say it's me. It's okay. You
Depends on the
can
minute
go ahead.
but I just don't see the point. I don't see the point. I don't get my head wrapped around hitting dislikes because it's not they're not disliking the show per se. They're disliking the person for whatever their reason. Good and bad, indifferent, whatever their reason.
Droning about Northwest. That was pretty cool.
They said, "How dare you, Mark? No country music. We are no longer friends. Take me back, Mark. I didn't mean it." I welcome the hate.
Wait. It's silly. He made an assumption we were friends to begin with.
Ooh.
He does that all the time. Russell.
Russ, come on now.
I can't wait. I get to see Russell tomorrow night, so that's going to be fun. LOL. Yeah, why do you suppose the dislike button is even there to begin with?
Yeah, there's no point to it.
Yeah.
I thought what they were doing is saying if you saw something that was abhorrent to you or really bad in bad taste or whatever, you can say, "Hey, I dislike this." Let the people know that this is not the kind of video you want to see. But I'm not sure what they're doing because they said it's part of the algorithm, but it's just a weird game people play with. I don't see the point because if you get 50 dislikes, they don't take your video off. I mean, it's not like it's.
And then there's this weird
hit the likes, not dislike.
And then you hear everybody say that, it's actually good to have a few dislikes. And it's like I understand the balance of things and whatnot, but it's how does that make it healthy to have dislikes versus likes or a certain proportion?
Right.
I mean, it's
Well, it works on an odds. The odds are not everyone is going to like it. So if you have a video with 50,000 likes and no dislikes, then suddenly it's, something's going wrong here. You have to have a dislike. There has to.
It makes it more realistic, I guess.
Right. So that's the balance point. And I honestly don't think that dislikes hurt you that much. It's just in a person's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they complain about you in Val's case. The other thing so Val, I don't want you to, squirrel and miss. Was that all that you had to say about YouTube?
No, but you go ahead. Where are you going?
Well, no, I was just saying you were saying new things. These are not new things. These are things that have been around for a while, as far as I know.
Oh, YouTube?
Yeah. As far as the new rules.
The thing that was new is them just coming, reiterating those rules that they're trying to make it. And I think it's because they were under investigation from the federal government. And so they decided that they have to stop really clamping down because they're being criticized on how they handled all the children's stuff that was going on surrounding YouTube. And I know they had talked about starting a children's channel. So only children watch it, kind of like children's Netflix or something.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time they finish, it'd be cost prohibitive, is what they're saying. So they don't want to do that. And I don't know where they go for that. I don't know where they go from here, but I know they're going to have to straighten the stuff up about children. I know that's going to have to happen.
Just like anything else in life, there should be a child's channel, and advertising on YouTube, not Facebook, but advertising on YouTube should be focused on children's channels. There should be an adult channel, and I'm not talking about pornography. I'm talking about a real adult conversation that should be allowed to take place, and it have adult advertising on it. And I'm not talking about, I don't want to say products or anything like that, but something that would be in line with people that would utilize that sort of service. But to start across the board saying you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that, gets kind of scary. Mm-hmm. You're kind of stepping into the censorship area there. And I want to do something real quick before somebody talks about freedom of speech. there is no such thing as freedom of speech on Facebook or YouTube or anything like that. Freedom of speech means that you're able to say what you want to say about the United States government without being silenced.
Oh,
That's all that phrase means. It doesn't mean, when you get banned from a Facebook group that you're being cut off from your freedom of speech. No, you're not there's no freedom of speech on Facebook. There's no freedom of speech on YouTube.
Curtis, I'm glad you said that because, and I'm going to keep this short because that's one of the issues that I've had on YouTube with people coming on my stream and claiming that I'm not going to get all high and mighty and patriotic here, but I think it is just a shame that people use the freedom of speech. It's disrespectful to that general right that we have here in the United States to use it to defend themselves, to be able to say what they want, slurs, whatever they want on anybody's channel, because it's their right and they're American. They can say what they want and blah, 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 blah. That is just a poor excuse for using an opportunity to insult or hurt somebody's feelings. And like I said, if freedom of speech was an issue, we wouldn't need wrenches on these channels.
Exactly.
For people to censor their own channel. So it just, I'm tired of hearing people say freedom of speech. I should be able to say what I want on the channel, especially if it's an adult channel. No, you don't. It's like, an old cliche. It's like saying, oh, I can yell fire in a crowded movie house. You can't. It's a right that you need to respect and use.
Well, not only that, people are really beginning to feel recently I see it more, it's always been here, but more, that they should be able to tie you in a room and make you listen to their crap. And maybe to them it's not crap. Maybe to them it means something and it's in their soul. But again, some things it's just keep it in there then. Not everything has to be spoken, and you can't tie me in a room and make me listen unless I'm in like jail or something. Then I guess you're going to just say what you want to say. But otherwise, I have a right to turn my channel off, to say you're gone, to go home, to close my door. That's my right. So I think
I so want to
having.
Val, I so want to answer somebody's question in there, but then this gets into politics.
And we can't do that. So
Okay.
I think that
back from the sky, we need to kind of back down from that kind of question. I mean, I know we're kind of in there, but we need to kind of
back from the sky is exactly right. That's the beauty of YouTube. If you don't like what you hear, you change it, you turn it off.
Exactly.
It's back from the sky, like point perfect. There's no.
Nope, you're back from the sky. You're correct. Yes, it was my fault for kind of going there. So I need to censor myself.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm out of here. I got banned from Val's channel.
So I just think that at this point, I get everyone has opinions and they're welcome to them, but opinions don't necessarily going to change my opinion. And I think at some point, only my kids can back me in a corner and talk at me. And I feel like I'm obligated to listen because I had them. And all their crazy ideas, well, they got them from somewhere. So I'll listen. But other than that, no. And I listen to my daddy. Even when I don't agree, I'll listen to him.
But will you listen to Mark when you're riding up there with him?
Oh, hell no. No.
Okay. All right.
Oh, so it's going to be a quiet ride up.
No, I think
don't
get into conversations.
Wait, are you instituting a double standard here that you're not going to listen to me, but I got to listen to you? Is that where we're going with this?
You don't have
That's how she works.
Man,
I am going with back from the sky.
I honestly think we ought to put a video camera in there and record this whole trip.
I'll be recording my friend.
I'm putting my Osmo Plus. I'm suction cupping that right to the windshield of the Mini Cooper, and I'm going to record. I'm especially going to record her when she falls asleep. Hopefully, I'll get her snoring.
I don't usually fall asleep, but we can maybe I'll be tired by then.
Well, just keep in mind you will not be drinking coffee in my car.
I don't like certain news shows. I don't like I used to like them a lot. I was like a political junkie, but I don't like a lot of the commentary shows anymore. I just want the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. That's all I
just
want.
The facts, Jack.
Just
out the plan,
facts.
Stan.
And I will use my critical thinking to work through that. I don't need someone else's thinking to help me work through that. I'll look at stuff, but I just no.
Yes, sir.
No coffee.
I told her she's no coffee, so hopefully she will fall asleep.
Coffee. Coffee. Coffee for Val.
Got to live stream the whole thing, man. Just got to live stream it.
I'm going, and if he does anything stupid, bam.
What?
Detroit, if she drinks coffee, give her the wheel and go to sleep and pray.
Me, Mike Rose.
No,
Mikey.
no. I mean, I'm not even guaranteed that she knows how to drive a manual transmission, but I hear how she drives an automatic. No.
To you on the way here on Kiddo.
Keto, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
On
Lord.
Kiddo.
I know everything about keto. Well, not really.
Mark's insurance doesn't cover the other drivers. You're lucky, Mark.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, you don't have to like what I said, but if you want to, you could hit the like button. It's free. I'm not sure it does anything, but in case it does.
I've already hit the dislike valve. We're good.
Oh, well, I was wondering.
Well, you have to have balance, you know.
Yes, I'm trying. I'm
You hear how
doing you
much
a favor. I'm doing you a favor.
yielded her on the way up there? Oh, I got a Ford Fusion this time. And it doesn't say word. I tested it.
So you've been swerving?
Yeah, it doesn't say a word, nothing. It just says, hello, Miss Valerie. I'm hey back at you.
So you said hitting the like button, you're not sure what it does, if it does anything or not?
I don't know. I mean, when you have people who can hit,
So if we don't, so it doesn't matter then.
Yeah, so go ahead, hit it. I got a few more channels I'm going to log on to.
you're not on my policy. You're not driving my car unless you're an auto mechanic. Back from the sky. I know. I can't wait to see you too. And my little Colin. He's so cute when I was up there.
Oh, Russ, I hope you have a child therapist on hand. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen after Val visits with your child.
Hey, Mike from Micro Rose Studios. Yeah, I'm glad I could put you in contact with him. We had discussed you before, and it's a timing thing. So yeah, it was good that you came on the show tonight and had a chance to talk with him. He's very, very interested in working with you. So this is exciting.
So guys, if I can turn this over to you for about 10, 15 minutes, I have to go check on my Mary.
Let's talk political stuff.
Is this the part?
Don't.
Is this the one we go into Urban Diction?
No. Oh my God. Somebody's really not liking what's going on my channel. They're really mad. It's every day. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to go check on Miss Mary.
We'll be right here.
We got this.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'm very afraid.
how are we going to rake Val over the coals now?
All I know is that my prayers are with you.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not opposed to having a GoFundMe page set up for me for hazard pay.
This is I'm seeing this as entertainment value. I gotta be honest.
You need like about 3 or 4 action cams set up around that car to catch it from all different angles.
Oh Lord, I got. You know what? I now that you mention it, I got all my GoPros for my quads that I could set up on different sections of the car. This could be interesting.
Just a nice little edited video when you come back. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
And she thinks I'm kidding when I say I'm going to show up with the Mini Cooper to pick her up. I really think she thinks I'm joking. That thing gets almost 40 miles to the gallon. Why wouldn't I take it to Canada?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So Curtis, I really haven't had a chance to chat with you. I was big on YouTube for a while, and then I took a kind of a hiatus, and I kind of slowly worked my way back in. I've seen you a lot on Roger's channel. I've seen you on Val's channel. I think I'm subscribed to you. Is your channel Curtis Dart, or what's the name?
I've got so I kind of came into. I'm kind of like you. I was on YouTube for a while, and then when the big monetization thing hit, I got really upset with YouTube and just kind of walked away from it for a couple of years and didn't do anything. And then the way the story goes is I run several Facebook groups, and some friends of mine, some guys that helped me run the Facebook groups, we started the groups to initially share ideas, but then at a certain point, groups get so large that you can't really share ideas, because then you get this thing where I called, how do you put it? Oh, you can't do that. You can't do this. And, you get the negative guys in the conversation. So we started gravitating towards having these offline Facebook or Google Hangout conversations.
Right.
And one of the last ones we had, there were so many adapters for the Mavic Pro and the Mavic Pro 2 to put an iPad on there. There's so many on the market that we got together offline and we all compared what we were doing. And this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Oh, did you know if you take this off and put this on here, and if you use a quarter 20 here, you can do this. And we spent an hour on there talking about it. And I kept thinking, man, why don't we record this? Because this is like gold stuff, and we could just put it in the groups, and guys could benefit from the sharing that we've done with each other. And so I mentioned that to the guys, and they all said, that's really a good idea. So let's create a show and go do this. Now, I'd been off YouTube for a year or so. I hadn't planned anything. So we started talking, and a couple of the guys work for NBC, and some of them are in Norway, and he works with broadcasting companies out there. So professional guys. And we started talking about a show idea. We did a format. We came up with all this stuff, and we went live with it. And we did our thing. And then we did a second show. Oh, we created a channel separate from my channel. We wanted to start from zero. We didn't want to, I've got like 1,200 subscribers. We didn't want to start from there. We wanted our own thing that we were doing. So we did a couple shows. And then after the second show, I started doing searches to see what else was out there. I knew there were a couple people doing live shows, but I didn't know what was going on. And then I found people like Bill the Drone Reviewer. I found Coast to Coast Drones. I found Canadian Drone Hub. I found Val's Life. And they had all been talking about us. They had all seen our show because they were already doing live shows. We came into this late, and they were excited about what we were doing because it's different. It's not this sitting around talking about things. Our show, the initial idea of talking about different products, morphed into what the show is actually now. And I'll put a link in the conversation here in the chat in just a second so you guys can see what we're doing. It was more of a cable news kind of channel where we're actually interviewing somebody, and we had a format, and we had a start, a stop, a middle, and all that stuff. We really weren't kind of open-ended at all. Then we started meeting some of the other folks, and so I've kind of gravitated around to the point now where I still want to do the original idea that I had in addition to Drone Owners Network Live. So this Saturday, I'm going to be doing my first. I've done a couple get-togethers like these on my channel, but I want to do my own. I just call it Drone Squad TV. I've had that moniker for probably 8 years now, and got the web page and all that fun stuff. So yes, there's two channels that I'm doing. The first one is, and I think Juno put it in there.
Yeah, Drone Owners Network Live.
Yeah, Drone Owners Network Live. And the premise of that one is because we've been around for so long, the guys that are on that show, we know so many people in the industry, and there's so many new drone pilots that don't know these folks. Romeo Dersher, they don't know who Romeo Dersher is. So we take this opportunity to introduce them to people like that, to introduce them to products that they haven't necessarily heard about, that these products contact us, these services contact us and say, hey, nobody knows about us. What do we do? Can we post in your groups and stuff like that? We're like, yeah, well, let's just create a show and interview you guys. So that's the premise of Drone Owners Network Live, just to bring awareness to the industry of things that you possibly didn't know about. Air Data or Scott Parazinski, getting the word, helping them get the word out. But my other channel is right here, and it's just me. And like I said, I haven't really done anything with it. Let me go back over here.
Yeah, I was going to say, post it because I had not subscribed to your other channel before because I didn't know the name of it.
There it goes. But I've got all kinds of stuff on there. I do 3D graphics, and I do just all your standard drone videos and stuff like that. I've got some tutorials on how to do After Effects stuff and how to do Premiere Pro. I'm pretty lucky in the fact that Adobe, one of the headquarters for After Effects, is located up here in Seattle. So I get to go up there and hang out with them. And when I got a question on how to do something, it's like they're right on top of it and saying, "Oh yeah, here's how you do this, Kurt," and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool. And that was been the focus of my channel for a long time.
Well, I was actually subscribed to your other channel, the one under your name.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't know when I caught onto you, but I just hit the notification bell. But you said you haven't been doing that much with it, or
Well, I'm going to now.
okay,
I'm refiring it up. I'm over the so I had like $100 or no, just shy of $100 being monetized in there. And then they dropped this thing where you had to have the 4,000. And I'm not one of those guys that posts every week. I try on my channel. I was trying to come up with something interesting before I'd post again. So I was shy of that 4,000 hours. I had the subscribers, and I was like, really? And it was like 20 hours I was shy of. So I was like, screw it, you know. And I've always been kind of concerned that I can post a video on YouTube and with 12,000 subscribers and get a certain amount of views, but I can post the same thing on Facebook and get 20,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of blew my mind. But no, I digress. I'm just the guy out there just having fun is all I'm doing.
Well, there you go. That's all. It's what it's about. And there was a point where I almost left YouTube, and because it wasn't fun. Part of it was it started to feel like an actual job, and I already got one of those. But the other part was a lot of the nonsense. But you know what? I've limited myself, and I focused my attention in certain areas, and I try to leave all the other stuff that I don't particularly care about behind. So.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not, you know, the problems that Val's running into, I'm sure I'm going to run into those at a certain point. It's a when you get to a certain success level, you get that. You know, when you're starting out, everybody's, oh yeah, we're all behind you and everything. But when you get to a certain success level, people start getting jealous. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It sucks, but you know,
well,
and I'm not even saying I'm going to be successful. I'm just going to do what I do.
And I think it's everybody thinks about it. Everybody, it goes through their mind. And I even chased it for a little while. The whole, you know, I got to get monetized thing. You know what? When I stopped worrying about that, which didn't take me long, I was having so much more fun. And I like the creative aspect of it a lot more. And what I'm doing now, I'm having a blast. So if people don't like what I do, they don't have to tune in. It's okay. And if I never get monetized, I'll still sleep at night.
I honestly haven't seen. I got to go check out your channel when we get offline here.
Well, the little story behind me is after I took my little hiatus, I'd planned on, I only did video drones. That's all I ever did. And I had no interest in FPV, but I got to say I caught the bug, and that's been, I'd say 95% of my focus right now, just because I just have been building, and I just love the activity. But I'm trying to bring the two together. In a couple of videos, I'll do I've done aerial shots of the place where I'm actually going to fly, and then I interlace that with the FPV flying. So I'd like to put them together somehow instead of just do one.
Well, guess what? You and I are on the same page.
Well, there you go.
You're a little bit ahead of me, but that's the direction I want to go right now. Is I want to. I've kind of dabbled in FPV drones and doing the freestyle stuff. I'm not interested in racing them at all. But I like the idea of, getting a nice big overshot of where you're at, and then some low flying through the trees real fast and low.
Yeah.
The building dives are interesting, or tree dives in my case. I live out here in the Pacific Northwest, and we have 300-foot trees out here. So diving down that.
Oh, Lord, don't tell me about trees. Now I just got to go find myself a 300-foot tree now and get stuck in it like I always do.
Well, these are big Christmas trees, so they're very sturdy and easy to climb. If you have any climbing skills whatsoever, you can get up these trees pretty easy. Unlike some of the trees, I watch Rotor Riot and some of the stuff they get caught in. I'm like, what the heck, man? I would never climb that.
Yeah.
But yeah, these trees, you can get all the way up to the very top of them without any risk.
Well,
I take that back. There's risk. There's risk in anything, but it's pretty safe getting up in these trees. There's enough branches, and you can get around them. Not a problem.
Well, I mean, at the risk of sounding a bit sappy here, I totally understand if it's not an issue. I just met you and all, but if you want to do some sort of collaboration with something like that, I'd be glad to do it. I obviously I don't know where you live, but any kind of networking, so to speak, for what I like to say, I'd like to bridge the gap between the two. People say you go in FPV, you never go back to the photo drones. I'd hate to think I'll never fly my Mavic 2 Zoom or my Typhoon H again. I don't plan. I gotta say I am doing more FPV, but I haven't mothballed them completely.
I'm the same way. I don't see myself going away from the camera drones. It's a different discipline. You know, there's the thing that I notice a lot when you get into the FPV community is, oh, if you're not building it, you're not, and crashing, you're not flying. And I'm thinking, well, you know, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, it's a philosophy. I get it.
take your DJI drone up in the air and change your exposure and your shutter speed while you're doing an orbit. Yeah, sure. The drone kind of flies itself, but you got a lot of other stuff you got to worry about. So it's not just straightforward like a lot of the FPV guys are saying in the different Facebook groups. You know?
Well, I got to say though, you know, from after doing quite a bit of FPV and going back to my Mavic 2 Zoom, I got to say my piloting skills for the photo drones are actually a bit more acute. I'm much smoother because my inputs are much slower. Because that's what you do with the FPV. So I actually think the FPV has actually helped me with the photo aspect of flying drones. So I think they do kind of interlace fairly well if you let them.
I've been doing. I've got a Parrot Disco wing that I've been kind of playing around. I'm not really happy with. It's fun to fly. Not happy with the camera, but. Yeah, that was kind of my thought, was put the wing up, do some huge overviews, then do some closer down to earth stuff with the Mavic or the Phantom, and then do some low flying stuff and, you know, fast and low to the ground, zip around things with the FPV drone. So I'm working in that direction. I'm at the point now where I made bad purchases the first time that I did it. I didn't research it enough, and I bought some stuff I regret buying, and I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. So I'm kind of rethinking some of the things that I'm doing now. And the one thing I'm probably going to do that's probably a mistake, but I have my reason for doing that, is I'm not going to build my first FPV drone. Summer's short. I only have the weekends. I work 10 to 14 hour days, and I'm doing live shows. I've got groups that I run. So I'm limited on the amount of free time that I have. So I'm just going to out and out buy a drone. And the one I'm going to purchase, I'm pretty sure, is going to be the Armaton Marmotte, I believe it's called.
Yeah, the Marmotte.
Yeah, that's going to be the drone that I purchase. And basically because it has a warranty with it, with the frame. It'd be hard to kind of argue with that. The one of the mistakes that I made, I think, was getting into the Spectrum line of RCs as opposed to FrSky. FrSky seems to be the way to go. And I'm still not quite sure how Crossfire ties into the radios, and I've got to do a little bit more research on that. Not that I want to do long distance, but I want solid signal. I am spoiled with DJI drones as far as signal is concerned. So yeah, I've got some FPV goggles. I got a set of box set, and I got a set of goggles also.
Well, I mean, I know my knowledge is limited, but I like the FrSky Taranis that a lot of the FPVers fly. There's a module that you plug into the back for the Crossfire, which gives you that long range. I have no interest in going in that direction. If I did, it was only to have a stronger signal close by. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the last thing I want to do is walk 2 miles to find my drone.
It's not for the desire to go far away or anything like that. It's just when you have a stronger signal, you go behind a tree or something. You don't start losing signal. No, I have no interest in going 2 miles away and clip a tree and have to go walk 2 miles to go find it. Not interested in that at all.
No.
Curtis, how does that Parrot fly?
So there's a lot of good to it, and there's a lot of bad to it. If you've never flown a wing before, it's the absolute perfect first wing to fly. You literally power up the sticks as soon as the props come up. There's a way that you toss it into the air. There's a technique you do. You let go. It climbs to, I think it's 120 feet, and then it does this circular orbit. You don't have to do anything. It just goes right up there. You throw it into the wind. That's the only thing you need to think about. Once it's up there and circling around, as soon as you touch the sticks, you now have control. If you ever feel uncomfortable, you can hit return to home. It'll return to home. And it's got this long, it's like 40 minutes flight time. If you get bored flying or you want to pause for a minute or whatever, because as opposed to like a DJI drone, your fingers are on the sticks all the time. You're swooping, you're flying. I found a couple times where I'm like, I need to rest, but I don't want to land. So you just put it back up in the air and have it orbit again, and it'll just circle around right there. The bad thing about it is the landing. There's two things that it does that I don't like. It won't go below 10 feet until you're ready to land. So when you bring it down to land, you can hit auto land, and it will spiral down slowly and land itself. Or you can bring it down yourself to about 10 feet and then hit land. but you need a long runway, because by the time you hit that command and you take your hand off the throttle is spring loaded. It goes back up. I know I can take the spring out, but that's another story there. The throttle goes back up and it starts to climb, and then you hit the landing button, then it'll come down and land. So you need like a football field to land this thing.
Now you said you weren't happy with the camera. What's the stability like? And when you're flying,
So the thing that I'm not happy about with the camera is I wanted that arcing and turning. I wanted to feel like I was in a plane, kind of. Not necessarily a plane, but I want a wing.
Mhm.
And the gimbal that's in there kind of takes some of that out.
Okay.
It would be nice. I was watching an episode of Rotor Riot where they were talking about when you're in a plane, as you turn, your head turns also, and that's the impression that most people have of turning. Is the plane is turning, but your head also when you're in an actual plane, and that's the sensation that most people want, and you don't necessarily get that with a plane. So there's a way to do it with planes, but you don't have a gimbal on it, and that's the one thing that this has is with the gimbal, it doesn't quite give you that turning sensation. You can do the airplane mode with DJI drones, but again, you don't get that quite turning sensation. I wanted that glide of and you're just kind of swooping through things. But as far as maneuverability, I mean, it's considered a slow flyer. But it's not slow when you're used to DJI drones. This thing moves.
So guys, I just need to ask you, what happened to the women that were in the chat?
We started talking about drones.
Curtis.
What were we supposed to talk about?
You said we were in charge and we couldn't talk about politics, so we started talking about drones. Now we got to keep track of why women are not in there.
So going back to wings, Curtis.
I'm just asking. I'm just wondering. I'm just looking here going, I thought there was, we had Ms. Ride or Die. We had Was Blind. We had a few in here. And we're just chirping along. All of a sudden I go and the women are running.
You left.
Oh my God, you guys are killing me. You guys are killing me.
Let me back up a little bit. Golden Retro and Movies. I bought a Parrot Bebop 2 drone a short while ago, Curtis. It's my first proper drone I picked up so far. I've never flown one. I hear nice things. I hear bad things. Back from the Sky. If you're ever bored one day, Curtis, check out a video or two of mine. I will. I just clicked. I'll check it out after the stream, but I've got it opened up there. Back from the Sky. I'll check out your stuff. Sport you. Ms. Ride or Die, how are you? She's disappeared.
Ms. Was Blind might be gone. Cops. Hello, women here. Cops.
Golden Retro and Movies. Yeah, he's seen the Parrot Disco in action on YouTube. It lands strangely in his view. Yeah, it is. It's kind of strange the way it does it. It's as long as you have a lot of, and if you guys have ever looked at any of my videos around the Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of trees here. I mean, a lot. There's not very many open fields. So it's kind of hard to land something like that requires a lot of space to land. You need about a football field length to land this thing. And if you're doing auto land where it's at 200 feet, it's going to do this slow orbit coming down. You need even a wider area to land. So it's kind of bizarre. Let's see. LOL, Curtis Dart. What did I say, Roger? I see very few women in the chat other than Miss Ride or Die. Cost, hello, women there.
That's the only one I saw too.
Unless the Ward House now is. Oh wait, that Ashley's in because she says coughs. Hello, women here. So I think Ashley's in.
Are there any girls in the audience at all? Just say hi. Apparently, this is an important thing for Val.
And I think Val is muted because I don't hear her. There she is.
Yes, I was saying some stuff I thought you might not want to hear. So I just muted myself so I wouldn't get political or anything and break down rules.
Self-censoring. That's very,
Yes.
very mature.
I found out that's easy to do. So I know you, go ahead, Herman.
No, there's one woman in the chat.
Val.
I love the confused look the guys get when I go, so what happened to all the women? What? We didn't even know there were women.
Ms. Radwood Dye was in. I knew she was in.
You said talk about something and not politics, so we started talking about drones.
And we
Yeah.
behaved ourselves. We didn't
We
even
did.
talk. We didn't even talk about you, Val.
Yeah, we could have talked about you, Val. We didn't even go there.
Thank you. My wife is in the other room. Does that count? Well, I guess that's close.
Well, actually, now that you mention it, Rob, my wife's not even here, so you're open season, Val.
Oh my God. Okay.
My
I'll be
wife
right
is always
back.
supporting of me. I love her. I love her to death. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. She's in the other room. And I'm not saying that because she's in the other room. Just spent a great 3 days with her. It was wonderful.
There you go. That's good.
And she likes my drones. I can't believe it.
My wife tolerates mine.
Well, that would probably be a better way to say it. She tolerates it. Someone wish I'd gone for. Really, they sell for a lot of money. Maybe I should sell mine for a lot of money. I thought they were going down in price. So
What-
Parrot no longer sells the
The
disc.
disco, really?
Yeah, they stopped selling that thing. The platform itself is good, and I've seen a few guys do some modifications where they take out the flight controller, which is called the Chuck, CHUCK, C.H. and it stands for something. I forget what it is, but and that seems to be the issue that most people have is that flight controller. So they're taking that out. They're ripping the gimbal out, but the bird itself is really nicely made. The canards on the end make it nice and smooth when you're flying level. You don't get this.
Yeah, and I understand they behave totally differently than if you're doing regular fixed wing with the back stabilizer, ailerons, whatever you call them.
Right.
They do behave differently from what I understand. I thought about building one, but I keep defaulting to another quad. Maybe someday I'll build a wing because they look like a lot of fun to fly.
Well, from the flying standpoint of view, you know that, and you can get this from a racing or an acro quad as well. But being at 300 feet and diving down to the ground at a 20-degree angle is that's fun. And then pulling up at the last second and shooting across the football field, super fast. That's fun to me,
Mhm.
and I'm able to do that with the Disco. It's just I like the takeoff features. I don't like the landing features, and I don't like the fact that you can't go below 10 feet.
Mhm.
There's nothing in the app that will let you go below 10 feet if you're using the Parrot app. So, Phantom, Herman, you want to get into this thing?
I mean, I saw it fly. I was just interested in it. The thing I didn't like was the landing too, because I thought I would destroy it. Because I saw the guy saw landing. He was bringing it in like an airplane and letting it just slide on its belly.
Well, I mean, it has a foldable prop in the back, so you don't damage the prop at all. Every landing that I've ever done has been super graceful, with the exception of one. And I was in a very tight space where I decided to land. And I thought, well, I've got enough room, which I did. I had enough room, but in the process, I went underneath a truck during the landing. But it was a parked truck. It was a big semi truck, and I was going to come down. I go, you know what? I've got enough room to land in front of that, and instead of crashing into it, I can make it underneath the truck. So that was really the only sketchy landing that I had, but it was a planned landing. I look back at it going, why did I do that? That was kind of weird. But, it's just a thing. The landing in a Parrot Disco is it's too long. It requires too much space to land this thing. And I've seen too many people on different channels, especially new pilots, have gotten into trouble because they take off in what they think is a large enough area, and it's not.
Right.
The other thing is I've seen people make a mistake and land in the water. It floats, and you can pick it up out of the water and fly it again, as opposed to like a DJI. It'll float, and you're not gonna mess up the camera sealed. You're not gonna mess up the camera.
Now, is the hull similar to what you can buy to make? Is it usually like a styrofoam of some sort?
Yeah, it's that. I don't know that it's. Okay,
I may be calling it something different, but it's a very soft yet flexible material.
No, this is pretty hard.
Okay, so it is hard.
What I didn't want to say was that there's a new foam out they call EBS, or it's like an environmentally safe foam. It's not that foam, and I think that has something to do with why they discontinued it, because everybody's talking about this new foam now that will, if you lose it someplace and you can't get to it, that it will disintegrate over time and not harm the environment. And I just hit puberty. I don't know why with my voice, but but yeah, it's a as far as a new wing and you want to learn how to fly a wing, and I see them discounted all over the place as far as price goes. Their batteries are about $60. They're not a smart battery, they're a proprietary battery, but I can't figure out what's proprietary about it other than the size. But if you wanted, I talked to my local hobby shop and they said, well, we can get you the same milliwatt hours, but it's a little bit larger, and we just need to take a knife and cut out some styrofoam in the belly of this thing. Yeah, make some room for it. But it's the RX or RT connector, whatever that connector is called.
XT or whatever, 60 or 30 or something like that.
Yeah, it's got the little square head on the bottom and the round one on the top. Yeah, it's that connector, and it's got a balance coming out of it. You charge it through the balance thing. It's the batteries. I don't think there's anything smart in it. I think they just wanted extra money, kind of like DJI does.
Right.
Let's make something that only fits this.
What is it? It's discontinued, you said.
Yeah, they don't Parrot doesn't make it anymore, and they don't I'm not saying they don't support it, but as an interesting situation that just recently came up, and I'm not sure why this happened. I bought a new computer, and on the new computer I'm putting all my logins for all my different products that I purchased, my softwares and all that stuff. And when it came to Parrot, I logged in. It said, you've been banned from the Parrot website.
What?
Yeah, I know. So I called Parrot support and I said, what's going on? They go, oh, we don't know. I go, why can't I log into my account? And he goes, I don't know. Let me send you over to IT. So IT, he doesn't let me talk to them, but they said that we'll send you a link where you can create a new login and get back into the Parrot website so you can access the software on the new computer. And I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally, about a week later, I thought, well, let me search my spam. And sure enough, there it was in my spam folder. But it only gave me 48 hours to create a new login, which had already passed.
Is Val still there? She disappeared again.
She disappeared.
What is this? It's her stream and she's not even on it.
Right.
Well, I'll take the opportunity to say hi, Ari. Remote Pilots Australia is here. Seeing as Val's not here to welcome him.
Yeah, Val wants us just to make money for her. She's going to get 10 cents off this, and we're going to do all the work.
Yeah.
Oh, Val's back. We can stop talking about her now.
The silent treatment.
Boys.
Well, I didn't say anything.
Girl.
Hey, Nunya, how you doing, darling? Hey, remote pilot, how are you?
Yeah. Hey, Ari, you feeling better?
I think he's feeling better. So what do we went through drones, and we did the fixed wing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still doing it.
Fixed wing.
Oh, well, I mean, I think we're on our way out of that right now, but
are you?
I don't know. I'm just trying to
bad
move
day
it
today,
along.
I'm afraid. I'm sorry, Ari. I'm sorry it's a bad day for you, darling.
Who are you interviewing tonight?
Y'all.
Y'all. You're gonna be doing that in the car, y'all.
Who is that?
Go ahead.
So, Herman, when
Who?
over there where you live, does anybody use the terminology y'all?
No.
Y'all.
I mean, if somebody come up and says, "Hey, y'all," would anybody in your neighborhood even understand that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Okay.
Because New York City has people from all over.
That's
I
right.
actually have cousins that talk like that.
There you go. That's all I'm saying. There you go.
Well, I'm in Central New York. We don't hear y'all that much, but I understand it is a much more mixed population in New York City. So I would get that. I understand that.
That's like when you had said earlier that you were fixing to go live. I'm like, yeah, I've heard that one too.
Yeah, fixing. Yeah, that's a good one. Y'all
Yeah.
isn't that foreign in New York. Well, I've never been to New York, so I don't know. But
I have
I
cousins.
thought y'all was kind of a Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi kind of thing.
Yeah, I have cousins from Texas.
Take care, Golden Retro Movies. Thanks
Yeah.
for stopping in.
They were fun to listen to when we were younger. But that's just even like you go down to Florida and listen to some of the people down there talking, like, okay. It's all over. Everybody's got their thing.
What's going on, Drone Shots?
Drone shots in the house. Why it got quiet all of a sudden?
Curtis stopped rambling on about friggin' drones.
I warned Val I'm doing some editing as I'm on here. I said, if you don't mind me trying to multitask, so if I'm looking like I'm staring into space, it's just the screen.
That's why.
I'm trying to edit. Yeah.
Limited on what you can. Yeah, I know. Val kind of cut us off from what we can talk about, so it makes it kind of tough.
What are we going to talk about? A recipe or something?
About 15 years ago, an American tourist referred to me and the family as y'all, and I said, "Oh, you must be one of those good old redneck 3D boys, right?"
Jeez.
Well, all right, you must be feeling a little bit better if you can throw that in there.
And I'm going to respond to Drone. I'm going to respond to Drone Shot's question. I tried to fix it. Carbon fiber, unless you can impregnate it pretty well with the glue or whatever. I got it. It's temporary at best. It'll bend a little bit, but I think I'm just going to replace the frame with something a little bit, how should I say, replaceable, so that when I break an arm, I can just replace the arm.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, Juneau County, Droner, Nunya, Drone Shots, remote pilot, Mike Roach, back from the sky.
Roger's here to bail us out from the silence.
How you doing, guys? No, my son just left not too long ago there, so I had time to get a coffee, get going. Yep. Nice to see you guys.
Hey, how you doing, Roger?
Everybody on the panel, pretty good. So Mark is, I can see Mark's right foot starting to go up and down a lot. You know what I mean? Like shaking.
Why do you say that?
Getting nervous for your road trip.
I'm trying not to think about it. I'm trying to, it's hard not to with everybody bringing it up every time.
Well, Roger, we have convinced him to put some GoPros in there in very strategic places around the vehicle so we can have some entertainment afterwards.
There's going to be some around the house too.
Oh,
You need at least two on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Catch your
Now,
facial expressions from both angles.
Roger, I will point out that on shows where you are not present, it seems like Val is talking about a very, very ritzy place with a heated indoor pool that she's going to be staying at while she's with you or something along the.
She does refer to it as a luxury suite. Apparently.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
Accommodations.
It's in the dungeon in the basement.
With the bugs, right?
Yep.
She likes to paint a positive picture. That's
Yeah.
what she does.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then she just says it's an accident.
That room was taken. I had to take lesser accommodations.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad to see everybody on here. I hope you're doing good there, remote pilot, Ari. Nunya, glad to see you. Back to Drone Shots and back from the sky. And Juneau County, Droner.
Yeah, Mark, when you get back from your trip, if you're not totally wasted, I'd love to do some work with you.
Yeah, I'd love to. Like I said, I just started getting back in. I saw you on the streams quite a bit, and I'm like, hey, I don't know this guy very well, so I'm glad to actually be on the panel with you. So
I kind of surprised everybody. It came out of nowhere.
Well, we need, that's what's good about YouTube. I mean, yeah, you got your good and your bad. It's nice to see a few more good people get involved and keep the thing going. So,
yeah, I'd gotten just totally frustrated with YouTube and just kind of walked away from it. And I didn't do anything with my channel. wasn't interested in it. And Facebook allows you to put videos on there. So I was doing that for the longest time. And
Right.
but then when it came time to, we were talking about doing this live stream and doing our live show, it was like, well, let's make our own channel and just not really care what happens, but we just wanted a place that everybody could access it. There's limitations with Facebook and the fact that you can post it in a group, but not everybody's in that group. So,
I mean, I've always been saying YouTube needs some competition. I don't know how, but there's got to be another platform like it eventually to kind of, do it right from the beginning, as opposed to, I think, there's an old expression. It's like building a plane while it's in the air. And it feels like that's what YouTube is doing. It's changing constantly and modifying and leaving people up in arms, and nobody knows the direction it's going or if it's even going to last. I don't know, but it'd be nice to see some competition.
Yeah.
there's
Hey,
a
Night Train. Night Train's in the house, FB. What'd you say, Final Flight?
The YouTube's like everyone else. They just want more.
Yeah.
It's just like anybody else. They just want more.
Yep. What's up, Carpenter Rick?
Carpenter Rick's in the house.
Hello, Night Train.
So I think it's the same thing everywhere, isn't it, though? We want more, they want more, but what we're having kind of this generational thing happening. I don't think they expected so many people to get on the platform.
Right.
They have billions of people watching.
Well, I would appreciate just a little consistency.
I don't think every time it's almost like towns. Every time you think you got it down, something changes. And I think as long as the human condition keeps revolving and changing, and we're trying to keep up with that, YouTube is having the same problem. In a town, which YouTube is like having a town, we have people who do bad things. We have people who do good things. We have that whole thing. But just as in a town, they can't seem to figure out how to get the bad stuff to stop. So we keep more rules, more regulations, and I think the same thing's happening in modern life.
Those rules and regulations affect people that are doing the right thing in the wrong ways.
Always.
And that trend, and you can use that with all
Always
the drone regulations too.
Yeah.
It's hurting all the good people, not the people.
And yet you will see people go on to YouTube, on the dark side of YouTube, and they do all kinds of terrible things with drones. Like they're going, well, not terrible, but they're going too high. They're doing all kinds of things, and they're going ahead and videoing it. And you can go on and see that stuff if you want, and people do. So we're rewarding it also. Good people rewarding it. And so now we have more rules, more regulations, more stuff coming down on drones. If we just, stayed within what was.
Well, now you're tasking YouTube with
Drones.
Yeah, you're tasking YouTube with regulating what drones should and shouldn't do. I mean,
no. But
I try not to do that. I tell my guys that help me manage the groups that I run. I tell them, hey, we're not the FAA, we're not the CAA.
Right, and I don't expect YouTube to go in and take that. But if we don't want more regulations, then people need to stop doing what they do.
Having said that, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something along those lines. Because there's metadata in the video files that we upload and stuff. I mean, you can take it out, you can re-edit it all out, and the photos and stuff like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if the FAA steps in and starts wanting download information.
I don't know how far it will go, but I will tell you this. It's the same thing with having people break the rules when it comes to other things in their lives on YouTube. They're breaking the rules. They're actually filming it. They're showing it. People shooting each other on this medium. And so YouTube is feeling the brunt of what crazy people do when they have a camera. I mean, it's just true. You can't stop it all, but look how much backlash YouTube got for it being on there, for being allowed to be on there. They had no idea it was live streamed. So I think we're just in a space where we're going to keep having this happen.
Right. Well,
on that note, everybody check out Teesprings Furball Kim's new T-shirts and cups.
Oh, it's really cute. It's so cute.
And I've already ordered my T-shirt and cup.
Stupid. I know. I was going to get a T-shirt from one of these channels that says, "Yeah, don't be stupid, but you can't stop stupid. Just can't."
What's
You're
going
right.
on, Ronald?
Ronald
Ronald
Lockwood.
Hey, Ronald Lockwood, how you been doing? Save any lives today?
Well, Val, I gotta get off now because I gotta get ready, and I got school tomorrow.
Oh,
Back to work for me.
sorry.
So, hey, no, I don't mind. It breaks the monotony, and it's 8 till noon, so
Oh, nice.
so it's not a big deal. So I
Hey,
appreciate you
thanks
having
for
me on the
holding down
panel.
the fort for me because I finally got Mary into bed and tucked away. That was supposed to be how it was when I got here.
And guys, what I said about Val, that's a secret between us, right?
All right, we'll
Okay,
keep
no
it. We'll
problem.
keep it.
Oh,
We'll
I
keep
had
it. Yeah.
I had it turned on. I was
And then,
listening.
no, you didn't. You didn't hear it.
Otherwise, you would have
Okay.
booted us all off.
Oh yeah. Well, and as
Nice.
far as having this show monetized, fat chance.
I don't see it happening. I'm
You've already
afraid
got
to
10
say-
claims after we got done with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We made a good wreck of this show while you were gone.
Hey, Ari, going back to sleep, my darling, and you take it easy. You hear?
Get better, brother. Get
Real
better.
soon.
Get better.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah, you
definitely
do.
are.
No better.
Okay,
Yeah.
everybody, remote pilot. I hope you feel better. Everybody else, have a good night. Thanks for having me on the panel, Val, and I'll check you
Hey.
out. Whenever you stream. I don't know. You don't stream often, do you?
Couple days a week.
Maybe
Oh,
here and
God.
there.
Yeah, here and here.
If we could get some consistency out of her.
Oh Lord.
You know, is
Okay,
I'm trying
Mike.
to keep this work life up, and I'm doing like I was supposed to have one day off this week. I ended up with no days off, and I'm not complaining because work is still work, and you still make money when you're doing it, and it's stuff I like doing. So I'm not complaining. It's just that I have a hard enough time staying organized.
So
Now I'm just like, God knows what's going to be in my luggage when I leave to go up again.
on that note, on that note, before I go, Curtis, we'll definitely talk after the trip to Montreal if I survive, and God willing. And
Well, you should stay in touch.
I'll pray for you, Mark.
Stay in touch with Paul. He might be able to get you one of those therapy dolls.
oh, please,
Where's Paul?
Lord have mercy.
What happened to Paul today?
Have a good night, everybody.
When you get back,
Bye, Mark.
Hey,
He's
Roger,
going to have a therapy. And before he knows
someone
it, he's going to have
see
a
Paul?
therapy doll in the back.
I sent him a link. Where
Yeah,
is he?
he said hi to everybody in the chat a while ago.
Yeah.
Yo, flying Val.
You aren't coming on?
Might be flying Val.
Da, 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 da.
There's that snort.
Hey,
Rick.
Rick Halber, how you doing,
that's a
darling?
voluntary value do that on purpose.
What?
The snort.
How do you do it?
I don't know. How do you do it?
It just happens.
It just,
Oh.
just flips right out there.
Sorry. It doesn't always. I know Paul's like, here it comes. I'm like, shut up. I don't know how it comes.
There you
So,
go.
So, Mike Roach, Scott got hold of you. Can you tell us what he said? Or are you under NDA now?
Hey, Trevor, how you doing, my darling? It's a deviated septum. Probably my dad had one of those.
I don't think we're allowed to talk about deviated septums on YouTube. Is
Is
that like a blacklisted thing or something?
Magnet Magic, how you doing?
Manic. Hey, Roger, did you get your cup today?
No NDA yet. You're going to get one, brother. Just hang in there.
There's no mail on Saturday, Sundays here.
Really?
And really?
On Sundays, Val?
Huh?
You get mail on Sundays?
Yeah.
Regular letters in the mailbox?
Yeah, we get mail on Sundays around here.
You don't get mail on Sunday?
No, Saturday and Sundays we get nothing here. Not even yes or
Yeah, we get mail on Saturday, and so it's not always. It's during the holiday season we get mail on Sundays, but we always get mail on Saturdays.
We get mail on Saturday, but we
Yeah.
don't get regular mail on Sunday. The mailman has to have a day off.
Everyone has to have a day, but me.
We get like if the
No.
company is paying for it to be delivered on the Sunday, then you'll get it on the Sunday. Like, it's just
This
like
is my belief for Sunday delivery. If you want Sunday delivery, there's only one thing you have to do. Don't check your mailbox on Saturday.
There's that snort.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only mail that UPS delivers is from Amazon on Sundays.
Yeah.
No, Juneau County, Your Honor. No, there's no way. You always got to hit that live chat. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I was trying to come up with that too, to figure out how I was able to do that. I'll go through it again, but for some reason they assume we don't want to read what people say.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
Well, and I'm thinking some of it, people don't read every chat thing. We get nothing Saturday or Sunday unless it's perolator or something. Perolator.
We don't even get perolator here. Well, they don't deliver here on Saturday or Sundays.
It's dumb. Robert. I just found out that in the Netherlands, the mail is privatized also in the UK. Oh, wow. Are you going to get one of those flight stick controllers when
The only time you get something delivered here on a Saturday or Sunday, if you hire a private delivery
Cup
company,
deliver.
yeah, go pick up at your house and the papers have to be delivered on that certain day or something. They'll charge you the price for it. Believe me, they'll deliver it.
Let me answer the question from Ronald here. Ronald, there's a caveat to my answer to your question. No, I'm not getting one right away, but the reason is because of the current FAA rules, where I can't fly within 5 miles of an airport, plus the local rules here in Washington State where I live. They don't allow us to fly at state parks. We have to give them a 3 months notice, and it's $150 per flight. And then all the national parks that are here, it's really regulated the amount of area that I can fly. Previously, there are so many airports out here. Previously, I could just make 2 or 3 phone calls and I could fly and it'd be no problem. So when I first started talking with Scott and the folks about the FT Aviator, and they said, "Hey, we need to get one in your hands," I said, "Just wait, get it in somebody else's hands. I can wait because I can't really fly right now." I felt it was more important to get it into somebody else's hands. So yes, I am going to get one, but not yet.
Okay.
I realize that was a long explanation, but I thought I wanted to clarify. I need to
I think
clarify that.
I missed a couple of the points, Curtis.
What did you miss?
The whole thing. So could you restate it?
Well, what I just said.
Oh my God.
Really? You want me to restate the whole thing?
No, that's okay, Curtis. I'm
Okay.
just giving you a hard time.
I will. I'll talk. I do
Looked
that.
pretty cool. So yeah, I thought that fluidity thing, it looks cool, but is Mike still in here, Mike Roche? Did he feel like he could use it?
So Scott and him talked on those guys' show, and Scott thinks with a few minor tweaks that maybe there's a possibility that he can make this work for Mike. Mike would be better suited to discuss this than I would, to be honest with you, because he knows his limitations better than I could. I would just try to be repeating what he's saying, but Mike and Scott both seem to be pretty positive about what they were saying as far as him being able to utilize it. The really cool thing is Mike would also be a good person to also talk to when talking to people about the limitations of what they can do with their hands. He would be a good go-between. Mike is just a solid guy. I love the guy to death, and he's got a great sense of humor, loves to fly. I just want to see this in his hands. Literally.
Yes, back from the sky. I do go back over live streams. So if there's anything in here, I'll see it for sure. Curtis, I was just in Washington State, didn't know about those issues.
There's a lot of people in Washington State that don't know about them.
Well, Washington State, aren't they one of the few places that don't have certain taxes in place for the state?
You're talking about Oregon. There are
I
no
thought
states.
Washington was tax-free.
No, that's Oregon. Sales
Oh.
tax-free. You can buy anything in Oregon. There's no sales tax.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of people aren't aware of it, and a lot of people just fly anyway. I'm somewhat high profile, so I got to be careful what I do, because if they want to make an example of somebody, guess who gets made an example of?
Oh, see, now I know who to call.
I didn't know that though. They charge you so much money to fly in one place.
Well, so I understand why they did it, but they didn't think it through. What they wanted was people that the people that lobbied for this was the movie studios union. They wanted to have the ability to essentially reserve a spot and go in and film their movies or whatever. And that makes sense. Yeah, they're gonna give you a 3-month notice. They're gonna bring a film set in there. They're gonna pay all these taxes and stuff. Makes sense. But they didn't think about the hobby guys that just want to come in and fly. That's the rule. That's the rule that's on the book. Now that's state parks. That's not national parks. That's not airport. That's not within the 5-mile radius of an airport. It's just those 3 things in combination. When you look at a map, it's like, holy mackerel, there's not much place. I got to fly an hour to go find any place that's worth flying.
Yeah. That's well.
It's going to change though. I mean, the new rules for, the Lance system's coming online July 23rd. So it's going to change. It was just when it came down to it. And I was talking with Scott and the team over at Fluidity. I was like, hey, don't send me one, because right now it'll just sit on my desk. I can't do anything with it right this particular minute. There's people who can use this right now and benefit you. I'm happy. I've talked to guys that I absolutely trust and would be straight up with me and say it's a piece of crap or it's a great thing. And these guys I trust, and they told me here's what I like about it. Here's what I don't like about it. And the likes are way bigger than the dislikes. The dislikes are like, well, it's kind of hard to use an iPad because there's not a mount for it. It won't work with Crystal Sky. It's the same thing that everybody is talking about. And those things are going to be addressed and going to be resolved and be taken care of down the road. They want to get this thing perfect from the start and then build on it from there. And if you have a smaller footprint or a smaller product that you're trying to make, it's easier to make it perfect out the gate instead of, oh, we got to recall it because we didn't think about this or that. They want to get it out the gate and make the small portion of it work first.
Okay. Hey, Paul, did you go flying?
No, I went mowing.
Oh, okay.
Good thing, Roger.
That's good.
They've been mean to me, Paul.
Kim was supposed to do the lawn today. He didn't do it. He'll do it tomorrow.
Well, my lawn pickup refuge is on first thing on Monday morning, so I kind of have to get it done.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. We got to check with Val first. Is discussing lawn refuge, is that acceptable to YouTube?
Yes, you can talk about that.
So long. Okay.
As you keep to the point.
Okay, so Paul, it's okay to discuss lawn refuge. We're getting clarifications about what's correct and incorrect to discuss on YouTube.
And you guys need it because they put out all those new things again in June.
Yeah, apparently everything we talk about is bad.
Clarification. And
Well,
because I find that rules of certain places, they change anytime someone new starts and they want to interpret differently. Same rules, different interpretation.
Well, Val, you have the right to run your channel the way you want to run your channel, and I appreciate that. My thing is you well know, you and I've talked about it before, I don't monetize, don't care to monetize, don't give a rip. And so in my case, if they send me, well, you shouldn't have done that, bad boy, I said, we're not going to monetize you. Okay, because I'm not monetized now.
There you go.
I know it's a little bit different now. What they did is they just put it on my page, so I was like, I didn't have to go searching for it.
Well, now Drone Shots is just being flamboyant. He says he mows more lawn in a day than most people in a year.
Probably does.
I used to work for our town. And I used to cut the lawns in the town and plant their flowers. So I did a lot of that too.
Oh my God.
I am so thankful my daughter likes mowing the lawn. I am so thankful.
My roommate's brother came over and we whipped all around my house. Everything. I'm happy.
Is that like whip it good?
Yep.
They did a good job. I'm very happy. I needed it done.
So
Yeah.
Roger, you said you worked for a town.
Yeah, I worked for a town for a few years. I worked there during the summer. I used to cut the lawns, plant the flowers, and all that. And then during the winter, I used to do the Zamboni for the arena.
Well, the Zamboni must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
Is
fun.
that food
Well, I
like
guess if- So I
strawberry?
guess if you get paid for it and you have to do it all the time, it's probably not as cool. But as somebody who's never driven a Zamboni, that would be cool. I should say.
Yeah. Don't
Just-
drive it when you're drunk.
Oh! Now wait! Hold on.
Ah,
Hold on.
I see
Val?
a story coming.
Val, can we talk about driving drunk on Zambonis on this
No.
channel? No. Okay. All right.
I had to do like every at the end of every summer, the hockey school starts and all that. So we had to put the lines down and everything.
Yeah.
So we give a thin sheet of ice. First off, we do a lot of coating with the chaux. How you call that? The chaux in English. It's like a white powder stuff there, mixed in water. We did that on the cement. Then after we get the thin layer of ice, then you put the ribbons down.
Yep.
Brush and water on your knees, and then during the night you give some more water with the fire hoses.
Yeah.
Then you bring up the Zamboni. And so we had to do this for a good 12 hours, thickening the ice. So had one beer, had another beer, had another beer, had another beer, and I got on that thing, and I pushed on the gas a little bit too much. Oh boy, I slipped and slide. I almost took out the whole bloody what do you call it? The wall or the
boards.
Yeah, the boards there where the windows are. Oh my God, that bloody thing went ting 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 ting. I thought I moved it 4 or 5 inches, but everything was okay.
That brings up memories. When I was in high school, we had 2 big arenas here in town. In fact, Port Huron is the home where Silver Stick first started. And we had 2 arenas. And so 2 doors down from me was the arena manager lived. And so at 15, I went to work at the arena. And so we used to have to do, when the Zamboni guy's doing it, we'd have to take the nets off.
The pins. Yeah.
Then squeegee around the pipes and then put the nets back afterwards and flip and slide around. And we also had a professional hockey league team here. It was the IHL, and it was the Port Huron Flags. And when we had all the big games, we'd have to go out at halftime, and we'd squeegee and do all the things while everybody's hoots and hollers at you. And then we'd go back, everybody go back up into the stands from the hallways, which was all terrazzo floors, and we'd have to mop one end. We'd each have a side. There's 2 guys. We'd each have to mop one end to the other in between every period, so that it looked like brand new when they came back down. And then when they went the period, then we go out and do the ice. We come back again, and the hallways were completely trashed again. We had to do it every time. And then after that, we'd get a crew of about 5 guys the next morning, go up, and you'd have to start at the top and sweep the stands down all the way down and bag it up.
So, Paul, would you put something in the chat so that people can find you?
That's what you did at the arena, Paul?
What's that?
That's what you did at the arena?
Yep. I did that until I was about 17, and that's when I went to work on an ambulance.
I worked at, I told you before, at the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn.
Uh-huh.
And running cables and stuff like that underneath the stands and stuff like that, because you got to run all those TV camera lines. You got to crawl underneath those stands.
Yeah.
So crawling underneath there, I felt something crunch underneath my hand. And when I looked down, it was like a half-eaten hot dog bun.
Ugh.
And the hot dog, I'm like, oh, this is so nasty. How many days has this thing been down here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
If it's crunching, a long time.
And I know there's been a debate about which bathrooms are the worst. The ladies' bathrooms were always the worst to clean.
Yep.
I can imagine.
No, men's are bad. Men pee on everything.
Well,
Oh, look, there's a
sometimes
thing there.
sometimes you do get splashback. There's no doubt about it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm kind of confused here. Manic Magic says, "Hey, Mike, isn't it great that people here don't speak for you as you only you know what's good for what's good or right for you." I hope you didn't think I was speaking for Mike.
I think that the one thing I love about Mike is Mike will say what he wants to say. So we're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
skip over that. I'm going to pretend like that didn't. I did read it, but I thought he wasn't getting it, and so it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, well, I wasn't attempting to speak for Mike.
No,
Mike had a
of course not.
conversation with us earlier in a previous show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, not at
Okay,
all, Curtis. You did
It was the
good.
way you phrased it. I wasn't sure what was going on there. No, I'm totally
No,
supportive.
Manic would never mean what it sounded like. I wouldn't think.
Manic's not that.
Sounded like that.
Manic's not that kind of guy.
Okay,
No.
well, I was kind of confused. I was what?
That
No,
was
I'm very, very much in support of Mike. I want to include Mike in what's going on. I'm putting out as much as I can to make things happen for him. But yeah, I think he would be a great representative of a person who has limited abilities that can work within the community to help develop this product for those people.
Doug.
I can't even possibly put my thoughts into what he has to go through on a daily basis just to fly a drone. So
Right.
to put a product like this in his hands, he can talk to other people that have similar issues and say, "Hey, here's what I had to do," as opposed to me saying, "Here's what Mike Roach had to do," or "Here's what this person had to do who's also handicapped." I think Mike would be a great spokesperson for that portion of our community.
Well, and his personality, he's a very strong individual.
I love his sense of humor.
To be paralyzed from the chest down
Yeah.
and still have that personality, that humor, that grace, that style. He's just a great guy.
Yep. No, I'm doing everything I can to get him and Scott together. We were able to connect.
Trevor, this is Trevor. I was praising you all. That'd be Manic. You see, that's Manic.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. I didn't understand what you were saying on the first time there. But yeah, we're doing all we can to get a product into Mike's hands.
Talk to y'all later. Are you leaving, Robert?
Where's Robert going? Robert, it's only
Talk to y'all
8:55 Eastern. That
Over.
means it's
What was for another channel? Do you know? Tell me. Nobody will see it. I'll just look.
how come Robert's not here?
Robert's always here.
Well, he decided he wasn't going to come in today. And being the respectful person I am, I said, that's okay, but next time it won't be. I'll have to cut you.
Hey, Val.
Sorry, Robert.
According to your rules, you can't say that. You get demonetized.
Oh,
Isn't it curse? Double demonetization?
That's an act of violence.
Oh, damn it.
well, you're
Sorry, Robert. It was an
being
accident.
You're not being inclusive, Val. When you cut somebody, you shouldn't.
Shoot.
It's all good, Manic. We're on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to see Mike on Monday the 21st. No,
22nd.
2nd.
22nd.
Mhm.
22nd is a Monday.
We can eat.
For those of you that missed those guys' episode that Mike was on when he was talking about Scott, Scott is actually interested in creating, and this was not on the horizon until Mike came in and started talking to him about his limited abilities. They're talking about now initiating voice command on certain camera functions.
Nice.
Which was not on Scott's horizon until he talked to Mike. So this is why it's important to get it into somebody's hands that actually has disabilities and figure out what we need to do to make this hobby profession inclusive to everybody.
Well, Scott's the kind of guy that he'll take things that he gleans and he'll develop things. I foresee, I could be wrong, I foresee somebody like Scott would say, let's develop a handicap advisory committee out there that can help us so we can talk amongst ourselves about things that maybe we could develop just specifically for people that are handicapped.
Yeah. Well, the conversation, for those of you that missed it, was Scott was thinking about a 3D printed rapid prototyping solution for Mike, because Mike has an issue with gripping. And then in addition to that, a voice command thing, kind of similar, and Alexa was brought up, similar to the Alexa thing where
Alexa, Siri, yeah.
the Alexa Siri kind of thing, where he could say a command and it would like take a photo or start a video or something like that. So yeah, Scott's thinking he's got those gears going. They're going like 100 miles an hour.
Well, I'm glad that someone's taking this seriously, because people who end up with disabilities, I mean, Mike he had to invent his own stuff to be able to fly his drone, to be able to get it on the table, to do all that stuff. And some of this stuff, if people would take this seriously, they should be looking at this and making those products. So I'm glad you talked to him, Mike, so that people are looking at your needs too. I need one that reads my brain.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
Or works with a breeze.
What?
I wonder if we can talk to Scott and get the fluidity to work with Val's breeze.
I think I have to change my breeze out now. I'm bored with it.
You've only flown it twice, Val.
No, I played a lot more than you know, Paul. I don't tell you every time.
My source is on the panel, but he said that as far as he knew, you'd only flown it twice.
Who would say that?
I'm not saying.
No, that's not true.
It ain't me.
Every day, whether it be your show or someone else's. When do you have time to do it?
Yeah, I do it whenever I have time.
And
Now the past 2 weeks, you are correct. I haven't flown in the past couple weeks because I've been working 90 hours.
when was the last time you flew, Val?
3 weeks ago.
Couple weeks. Now it's 3 weeks. How long ago was it you flew, Val?
Hey, Newfound John Bill, how you doing?
Don't do this. Okay, I can't get my head around it. I flew 3 weeks ago, but the last 2 weeks I've been working 70 to 90 hours a week. There's been no time for flying, honey.
You ought to take it.
So
You ought
you
to take
still
it
feel
over
like
and
you-
show Mary how to fly.
I don't want to die. It's already hitting me.
I think Mary's already flying with her medication.
Yeah. She's doing pretty good today, though. She's doing okay.
Yep.
Hey,
Newfound John Bill.
You might like it, Val. You never know.
No, I do know. I do know that. So, guys, it's already 7 o'clock. So I do appreciate Curtis, Herman, Paul, Roger. Thank you guys for kind of being here so that I could go do some things I need to do today.
Just showing you
Because
guys
I
what
was,
I'm working on.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just showing you right now.
Okay.
That's it. I'm not going to show you the video. I'm just going to show you this.
Why aren't you showing us the video?
Well, I don't want you to hit with a copyright strike or anything. So I'm
Oh.
just showing you the photo. But this is all the video. I sent you most of these videos.
Oh, I've seen them. I love them. I love the beach.
Okay, Roland.
Oh, see?
Have a good one.
Bye, Lockwood.
Reynolds, I mean, sorry. Reynolds Lockwood. Have a good one.
Yeah, you
Yep.
guys can stay there for a minute. Would you stay there?
Good
Paul?
night. Have a 24-hour shift tomorrow. Maybe it can come in shortly.
I was going to go so that you can go, Val, because I know you got to pack and leave in the morning.
Are you going to stay or no?
Huh?
Okay, guys, I love you all. Thank you for coming. Now, on Tuesday, the my time, the 7 o'clock to 9 Eastern, is going to be done by Roger. So make sure you give him lots of likes and thank him for going on for me, because I will be probably still driving at that time. Okay, guys, I love you.
You're going to be driving?
I'm going to be driving.